Hey guys, welcome to a quick update. So, kinda have to talk about Terra Firma Craft, the pack we were playing, and a new pack I've been working on. So, Terra Firma Craft, you may have noticed, haven't uploaded an episode in a while. And that is mostly because I kinda got bored. I'm when we started the series, I said this is going to be like a let's try. And let's just make a date time here. It's gonna be more like a let's try to check it out. And for the most part, I really enjoy Terra Firma Craft, but there were some parts of it that kinda felt a little bit too tedious to me, at least at the time or at this time, where I don't really want to play something super tedious. One of the things was that I don't think I like the forging mechanics. I thought I would like them because I added like similar mods in mod packs before that I was working on, like that were very much like survivally and so on. The one where you have to like select the part you want to craft, and then you have to like hit them in a specific way to like craft the tool. I did a bit of that in the Terra Firma Craft pack we were playing, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, if anything, I would probably play a pack maybe, or would do something where later down the road you get an easier way of doing it, so you don't have to always do it. But yeah, at the time it just kind of felt a little bit tedious. And the other thing is, I was at a point where I had to find, or maybe not had to, but one of the next steps were like finding kaolite and granite, I believe. Two things you need to make the was it a bloomery or whatever? It's something to make the steel, I believe, or iron or something. I think iron, maybe. No, I don't remember what it is. I think it's like the crucible or something. In any case, I traveled for like hours, like real life hours, through the world trying to find them. And I couldn't find them. And that seems to be a common theme though with, Terra Firma Craft. That's what I keep hearing, that you can be pretty unlucky or you can be pretty lucky when it comes to specifically, I guess, granite and kaolite too. That your world has it or not. I mean, there are config options though to increase that kind of stuff. So I think next time if I try it out again, I would probably increase some more of the world gen stuff. So it's a little bit easier to get, because it kind of... it felt a bit boring just running around for hours, and there's nothing interesting in the world really, because everything's very samey. The biomes are very similar, and there's no real interesting like dungeons or loot or something you can find. So it became a little bit boring, and I just didn't feel like playing more. So for now, I think we're putting this on hold. I might come back to it, I might not come back to it. People were asking about the mods I was using in that series, and so I'll put them in the description of this video. So if you're interested in that, they should be there. If I haven't posted them, yell at me please so I can do it. I might forget. But anyway, so that's for Terra Firma Craft. I know some people like this and use it as a guide to kind of go through it as well, to kind of like follow along. I'm definitely not the best person to do that with. There's a lot of Terra Firma Craft players out there that know what they're doing. But still nice to hear that you guys were like playing along. But yeah, so hopefully it's not too disappointing, but we just want to play what's fun. And well, I think it's a great mod. At this time it just felt a little bit too grindy for me personally, I mean. So yeah, and then out of that Terra Firma Craft pack though kind of came this pack. Now when I started working on this, I really like the early survival stuff and so on, but I think just playing Terra Firma Craft for a little bit really satisfied the kind of like early game grind of, having nothing and really working for your resources and stuff. So I started working on this at first, kind of like trying to emulate Terra Firma Craft a little bit, again with like the hammering system and the bloomeries and the charcoal making, but that's all gone at this point. It's very different from what I started out with. There's still some similarities. For example, you can see some like stacks of iron here. There's some mods in here that let you do that. Mostly because I also changed the stack size of items. So pretty much by default, most stacks are not above 32. That's like the default size. Then there's like smaller ones, like locks are like 16, and ores, for example, if we go to geolysis, These things, they're only 8. There's a reason for this, and this might look annoying to you, but I'll tell you why. Why I'm doing it that way. There's some other ones that aren't like this. For example, these tiny charcoal things are still a full stack because they're so tiny, and any nuggets, for example, are still a stack. So because there was a bit of a weirdness where if you try to like melt down these things, these only melt into nuggets. Only 3 in this case, but you can improve this with some things. You would fill up the furnace really quick, and it was like an odd stack size, and it felt weird, so I decided to just keep them at 64. But then the ingots are only 32. Actually, I might reduce this, because if I reduce this further, then stacking them in a world like this might even make more sense. Yeah, I think I might do that actually, if I don't forget. But in any case, so there's some elements are still in here. We have seasons as well. There's serene seasons in here. So like crops and stuff, certain crops are like only grow during certain seasons. The other thing is that water is finite unless it's inside a river or a ocean. But like these little puddles here, for example, these are all like finite. So if I can already see that being weird there, if I break these or something, it doesn't regenerate blocks here. So these are a little bit finite. So that's something to consider. And all of that is because I really wanted to play a pack where you have to build long trains or train networks. I really want to mess with trains. I have railcraft in here. There's some other ones too. There's like metal transport. That's some really cool looking cards out of different metals. And do I have the skinned one in here? No, I don't. I might add that. It's like this mod called skinned cards that add like mine cards that look like a pelican and I think a snail, something. I don't know. It just looks adorable. I might add that just for fun. Could build a roller coaster with them. But yeah, I really wanted something to give me a reason to build with large train stations. I want to like really have long distance transport with these things. And the other thing is I wanted to really mess with mine colonies. It's a mod I've played with a long time ago, but I haven't really like checked it out since, except for until I like started working on this pack, and I really like it. One of the big things I do, for example, so to give you a reason to build long train stations, ores are pretty scarce itself. Like if you can still go mine, and I'll show you the caves in a bit. The caves are pretty cool in this. There are still ores, and you can still find them. And as you saw, like if you find them, they only give you like, by default only 3 nuggets. You can do a bit of manual labor by breaking them down on like this magnetic craft table to get chunks, which give you 6. And then later, if you have machines and stuff, you can get the other chunks, not the rocky chunks, but the normal chunks, and they give a full ingot. And I think, yeah, the arc furnace currently gives 2. I might actually change this, but I'm not sure. Maybe not, because the arc furnace is kind of expensive. I might increase the power consumption or something, but we'll see. There's still a little bit of tweaking and stuff I have to do. I've been working on this quite a while, but for the most part, everything I wanted to do is kind of done. And I'm in this weird situation where a lot of the stuff I need to balance or test is like further down towards mid-end game, and I didn't want to like test play this for too long so I don't like burn out on it, or I want to do this on in a video or a stream or something, like just play this properly. So yeah, so the ores are pretty scarce, but then there are like biome specific ore veins from geolosis. So I don't know if you're super lucky here, but because they're biome specific, I can have them a bit more common. So for example, in the deserts here, you'll find gold veins, for example. And, one of the pains, something I didn't want to repeat, and yeah, I'll show you this in a bit. So this is part of getting ores. One of the pains of, Terra Firma Craft, like I said, was spending hours and hours trying to find resources was really, really boring to me. And so I wanted to make sure that, well, I do want to spread out veins far enough to have a reason to use rare cards, right? But not so rare that you really spend hours and hours trying to find them. I might even increase them a little bit more. And because like having a biome specific actually works really well, right? So like I can only find gold in these biomes, right? If I start out here or my base is here, I have to travel this far. It doesn't matter how often they spawn in here, they only spawn in here, right? So that gives you kind of a reason of actually spreading out and getting them. The other thing is that, you know, even if you have, like, say, the Geolysis ore veins, right? Oh, here is a... This is cinnamon? No, this is an iron one. Nice. It's only one piece here. Maybe I already found the rest. No, there's more. So this is iron, tearlight, there's a couple of them in there. I'll change them all, like kind of group them up in a specific way. The other thing is, like, even if you find them, and I guess we can dig down and see if we can find one in here. And I can show you that. Is that, well, I don't want them to be too big. Ooh, there's a dungeon here. Huh. I don't want them to be too big, because then you can just go to one and you'll be good for a while, right? Oh, that's up here. Actually, no. So this is one of the random ones that just spawns, like normal ores. They still spawn down here. You can see some of the cave stuff, but I want to show you this in detail a bit later. I just want to see if we can find the vein here. I don't know. I forgot how far down there. Oh, there they are. Cool. Kind of interfering with the dungeon here. It's a bit of an issue. But you can see it's like 4 different types in this vein. This one is actually not part of it. It just generated here naturally, unless there's 2 veins overlapping. But this one finds copper, bauxite, tearlight, and hematite. And yeah, I don't want them to be like too big, so that you don't go here and be like, oh, I'm set for a while. Like, I can use this for, you know, for most of the things I want to do. But I also don't want them to be so small that you don't get much out of it. And, you know, if they were too small and that's the only thing you can mine, then there is no real reason for you to set up a train system, because, like, okay, I could just mine this up, right, and then bring it back home. Why spend hours setting up a train system if there's not even a lot here? So it's a bit of a weird balance game. So, you know, to make up for that, or to kind of like help with that, that's one of the reasons why I set these to 8, so that if you find a larger one or some more ores, yeah, you can pick them up and bring them to your base, but you really can't carry that many. And the other thing is these guys. So inside these Geolysis ore veins, they spawn these ore clusters from tech guns. Now, these are special blocks. These can't be mined with a normal pickaxe. You have to build like a multi-block structure with tech guns. And yes, tech guns is in here too, but I altered some of these things and I need to adjust some. I don't need these. Some values though. So the easiest form of making a drill is this. It's basically like a drill rod, a drill controller, and then you get the smallest ore drill here, level 1, made out of steel, so you at least need steel, and that will power this thing. Now, by default, normally you can use solid fuel to power this, but I made this burn out real quick, so that you're going to have to set up a, you know, something that produces RF instead. Although I think you can also use liquid for that. I actually don't know. Yeah, you can use diesel too, and that's fine. So you can set up a train system that brings diesel over here, or you can set up a system that produces diesel over here, or you can set up a system that transports RF over here, whatever you want, right? But it still gives you a reason to set up trains. And these never run out. These are infinite. And you can also build these now. If I make this tiny one, you can see we only get 17.5 ores per hour, like real life hour. It's not a lot, especially since these only give like a little bit. But you can build like really big drills as well that use some of these like bigger drill pieces here. But they require this like cage around and just way more blocks that are, you know, not... These are only iron. I might actually change these to steel, but... This one I, for example, changed. The drill core requires the printed circuit board from pneumatic craft, so you do have to get quite a bit into pneumatic craft before you can set up infinite ore mining. But yeah, because they're relatively slow, I think it's still kind of balanced, and it gives you the reason to set up train systems to bring them to your base, right? A bit of a like, not issue, but something I'm concerned about is that I don't know if there will be need for all these ores. That's the thing of like, I need to play this for a while properly to see if there's even a need for it. I have some ideas for like trading stuff where you can like sell ores for goodies or something. That might be interesting. So many mobs in here. This might be a normal dungeon? No, it's probably just a roguelike. But yeah, so yeah, each one of these ore veins always has a specific ones, and that's why these ore veins are selected the way they are. It's because, for example, the common ore cluster gives you these ones here by default, and I just changed them to the geolysis ones. And so I also made the geolysis ore veins spawn those exact ores. And then there are a couple of these. So if you look up ore, there's a normal coal one where you can actually find 1% chance of diamonds, the rest is coal. The metal one we just saw, there's a rare metal one which has lead, nickel, and zinc. And then there is the shiny metals, which is silver, gold, and cinnabar from Thorncraft. Yes, there's Thorncraft in here. I'll talk about this in a bit. And then we have uranium. The uranium one I still might change because I think currently the way I have it set up is I don't actually remember. I think they only spawn in Twilight Forest currently. I do also have the Twilight Forest in here. There's a little bit of magic in here. I can't do without magic completely. Then we have the common gems, which is redstone, lapis, and nether, and then the shiny gems, which is diamond and emeralds. There's also the nether one, which I haven't touched, so that's default. I don't actually know if they spawn currently. I have to double check that, but yeah, I don't really care about this one. Ooh, why is this thing still here? I need to remove this core. I don't want flight in my pack. Put down sunlight. But yeah, this one would, you know, just produce stuff. Can we do that? No. Can you not feed this with maybe with a bucket? Oops, nope. Whatever, you have to pump it into it. You know, and then you can send it back. So yeah, that's kind of the reason for like fast travel, fast travel for rail systems to set them up is mostly for these things. There is another way of getting ores early on now because, you know, like I said, you need pneumatic craft for these ore thingies here, but you can still mine them. But another way of getting ores early on is actually the mine colonies miner. And I really wanted to make sure that the miner is useful, because that's actually something when I tested mine colonies like long time ago, I never felt like and this was a setup with another drill too down there. I never felt like the miner had any purpose, because, you know, he mined so much but didn't get much out of it, because there weren't like too many ores, and especially in my pack where I don't have many ores underground. The miner would seem kind of silly, but there is an option now where they kind of find these lucky ores, is what it's called. Every time they mine just any block, and you can specify which block, they have a chance of finding ores that you specify. So I actually specified that you can find most ores, or that she can find most ores by just mining regular rock. And it's actually really common. I think I have it set to 50% currently, but I reduced how fast she can mine. So she's been working here a little bit, and you can see it's still not like a ton of stuff, but you do get all these geolysis thingies from her. So that's another like passive income of ores for you over time, which is, I think, kind of cool. And also, because like I mentioned, I have Thorncraft in here, I added custom, do we have these guys here? So there are custom geodes. You go to Content Trigger, you can see them all, for the 6 base Thorncraft crystals that only she can find. These, you can't see these, you can't mine these, only she can find them. And the ore crystals, or the crystal itself on Thorncraft, don't generate in the world. Main reason why I disabled them is because they kind of spread and they're all tile entities. So if you let them spread over time, you're gonna have some TPS issues. It's a little bit crazy the way they are made, but it's not great. So over time it can cause quite a bit of issues, so I really don't like having them generate in my world. So I decided to go ahead with these things, and then, you know, you can manually crush them down on a crushing table, gives you 1, or you dump them into crusher later, which gives you quite a bit more. And that's how you get like the basic starter ones to get started in Thorncraft, right? So because you need them to make Salus Mundus first, and then once you have a cauldron, you can make them in a different way with these quartz shivers, slimmers, whatever they're called. But you can still use these, of course, too, which is probably more effective. So that's another way of mining, which I think works pretty well. So yeah, she didn't dig too much here, you can see, and she already found like decent amount of stuff. But maybe maybe let's go into these caves, and I can kind of show you. So this is using cave generator and Whirly's caves. Oh, is it Jung's caves? I forgot. No, it's Whirly's. Yeah, Whirly's caves and cave generator. I currently have night vision, so it's a bit brighter, so you can see stuff. But yeah, it's around level 40. It's starting at level 40 till like level it goes down. Some of them go all the way down, but like it's around 40 to 20-ish on average. You get these really, really big open caves, and some of them have like these like grassy spots with like quartz pillars and lanterns. It looks really cool. If I go get rid of my effects here real quick, you know, it's I love the look of this. So moody and stuff. And yeah, I really like this case. I wanted to use them in a pack. This is kind of the only pack that I currently have where I could test them in. So let's get night vision back. Some guys down here. So I think I will do this here. And that was also one of the reasons, or the main reason, why I decided to have ores generate in the world at all. Before it was just the geolysis veins. But I think just having like, they're pretty rare though. Like you can see, I don't even see much. There's a little bit here. Galena. There's a little bit of bauxite, I believe. So it's not super common, but yeah, you can go down here and find stuff. And there are also, you know, mobs spawn on here, but there's also these spawners hanging from the ceilings quite often. There's one over here, spider spawner. There are these monster boxes from Quark that can spawn. So there's a lot of danger down here too. Lots of fighting and adventuring. I want to make sure there are, you know, things to fight as well. Just not getting too crazy, but yeah, I really like these caves, especially the grassy stuff. It looks so nice. I would actually like building down here, but I don't think mine colonies work well underground. Look, there's a bunch of copper, which is nice. It's a bit dangerous though, but because you have tech guns, you can make your guns early on. That helps a bit. I might still adjust the guns though, because they're a little bit strong. Especially like the rocket launcher, but I disabled like a lot of the guns. I wanted to keep guns that were like super duper crazy and still sort of fit within the pack style, because I mean the biggest like tech stuff in here is like, you know, massive engineering and magnetic craft and railcraft, that kind of stuff. It's very like steampunky still. So I didn't want like, you know, laser weapons or something, although I do have one enabled. I have the Tesla gun still enabled because of freaking love. Though Tesla still kind of works, right? Because it's like electricity. There's Tesla coils. But I'm gonna have to adjust this. 12 damage is a bit too much. Yeah, I just like electricity as a weapon. If it's a magic spell or a weapon, I love electricity. I always go for that stuff. So yeah, but these are the only guns that I enabled. So these are the ones that I kind of thought fit in this pack, right? So we have, let's just grab one of each, and then the mine stuff. So we have the normal hand cannon, which just uses like pellets, bullets, stone bullets to like shoot. It's like one shot, and then you reload. We have the double barrel shotgun, which that one is a bit stronger already, but it uses also shotgun rounds. There is the revolver, Thompson minigun. Still kind of fits, I think. The bolt action, I love bolt action rifles. One of my favorite weapons in any like game. Fallout or something, always go for this gun. It's so freaking good. It's just satisfying, the whole like, you know, you shoot a bullet and then you go like do the thing. And I don't know, it's pretty cool. Then the combat shotgun is a bit more high tech, but I love this weapon and tech gun. It's probably my favorite one of the favorite guns anyway in this. Rocket launcher definitely needs some nerfing. 50 damage currently. The downside is because we have okay, I went through the tree. Because we have pollution of the realm, if you use this, you do get pollutions, sulfur and carbon. So that's another thing. Like, yeah, we do have pollution of the realm, so you have to take care of this a little bit. I think it's raining right now. Kind of got dark. Yep. Yeah, so that one, Tesla gun, like I said. And then I currently have the chainsaw, which I'm not still sure if I want to keep that, and the mining drill. The reason is like because immersive engineering already has like a mining drill. It doesn't have a saw though. So I might remove this one at least. We'll see. Again, still needs a little bit of testing. And then lots of the armor is disabled, like power armor and stuff I disabled. You can still get like the combat, the commander, the miner set. They're not craftable though, so you have to find them in loot chests. You have to like raid these tech guns dungeons, and now these like giant ships. I don't have any here. That usually have a lot of crates with things that contain weapons and so on. And actually, if you're wondering what's all this is me testing the loot tables to make sure that none of the weapons I don't want spawn in these. So I had to remove them from the loot tables as well. But yeah, they spawn there. The only one you can make is the steam armor, because the steam armor is pretty cool. It's going to be requiring steel and bronze though in this metal press. So not the cheapest maybe, but this one's pretty cool because, well, it gives you a couple of bonuses. I don't know if they work without filling them with steam first, or they're technically called compressed air tanks. But I made the recipe so that you fill them in a bottle machine with steam instead. So, because, you know, steam armor, I think it works a little bit better. But it gives you some really cool benefits once you have that kind of stuff. You know, it gives you like mining speed, it gives you like a little bit of health extra. And then there's like full damage and stuff. But you also get, yeah, step assist, which is nice. And you also get like this this cool jump. I guess if I grab these, yeah, I can. Oh, there you go. You get like a higher jump. You have these things at the back. You can actually change the look of the armor as well, and makes you run a little bit faster. Step assist. Yeah, so I don't know. I just kind of like this one. I think it works well with the theme still. It's not super duper powerful, in my opinion. So that one is still craftable, but you know, a little bit expensive to make. So yeah. And then, like I said, you know, we have Thaumcraft in here. I do like my magic stuff, and Thaumcraft visually just works really well with immersive engineering, in my opinion. It looks really nice, and I love using the golems for stuff too. I was not at this world, a different test world. I had like the lumberjack guy and the miner guy, and I had these golems actually take items out of here and put them in silos. I know there's like a delivery man in here, and that, you know, obviously works too, but what I would do then is, like, you know, if I have a warehouse where everything gets stored, I would take out these logs because they don't really stack well, because only 16. I would take them and put them in silos instead, because I don't think the delivery mans can do that kind of stuff. So for that kind of stuff, I have golems that could do that. Or if I feel like more going down the tech side, of course, we have also pneumatic craft drones, so they can do that too. I just like having a little bit of more of those, you know, kind of like a Magitech mix. And I went down that route in several ways. Like I said, we have the trial forest in here too, so if we want to go fight magical creatures, we can. If we want to fight tech creatures, we have tech guns. We can combine it. We can go to the trial forest with a rocket launcher and blow it all up, because who cares if there's pollution there, right? And then also for storage, for example, we have I didn't want a mass storage system where you can just dump things on a drive and then you'd be good with it. So we're using the Project Red transportation, which is similar to you know, just grab a provider. What is it called? I think it's broadcaster. It's very similar to logistic pipes, but not quite. A little bit simpler and a little bit almost neater looking. Is this gonna work actually? I know I need a router junction interface. I think it's an interface, yeah. If I put a card in here. Yeah, you can see the items. So this is the interface you get. So it doesn't have storage components really. It just interacts with storage components, right? It sees all these items in here now, and then I can say, give me 10, right? Shoop, and then I get them. So yeah, and I like love the look of the UI. It's very vanilla. It's very clean. It looks nice. I like it. You can also do a bit of crafting and stuff, so that is possible with certain pipes you have in here. You can get a bit more complicated with stuff, which is really cool. So that's in there. Of course, we have you can do Thorncraft has a storage system too. I don't know if many people actually know that because it's not maybe well used. Is it right click? Okay, so you put like a provider seal onto your, whatever you want to put on, similar to these things. Then if you shift right click with your oh no, sorry, isn't it shift right click? Oh, a second, is it provider? I look like a fool now. Hold on, let me try this on this. Oh, I think it's because, okay, I think it's because I haven't done the research stuff yet in this. Okay, let's get rid of the warp effects. I think that's why, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay. I was like, why does that not work? That should work. I've done it a million times. So yeah, just a provider pipe on whatever container you want to see. And then you can shift right click with a bell and you see everything. And then if you have a golem, like this guy down there, and you're like, I want, please, 2 rocket launchers. Might be out of range though. Although this guy is a clumsy one, isn't he? Deft. I don't think deft guys will work for this. Yeah, let's grab a... There's like a different mod that also adds like golems made out of, you know, immersive engineering blocks, which is really cool. Alright, let's try this again. 2 please. 1 maybe? Oh, okay. He does 1 at a time. Maybe because that's like an MBT item. Yeah, let me try. He's gonna get me the other one. Yeah, let's try 5 grenades. Ah, yeah, okay, that works. It's because it's stackable, you can't pick them up, of course. That makes sense. So yeah, you can do that too, right? So you could do a golem system. You could tell them to store things in certain chests if you wanted to, etc. So that's an option. The other option is Arcane Archives. If you want to go maybe even more magical, you can use that. I'm gonna see all these pop-ups now because of Thorncraft. But yeah, you can use this too, and then you can use certain, you know, you can use the normal storage containers that Arcane Archives contains, or you can use like these things to interface with other containers, and then you see them in here and be like, where's this wood? Oh, it's over here. It draws like a line to wherever it is, and then you're like, oh, there it is. Cool. Got it. So this one doesn't have a way of bringing things to you, but it's a nice way of seeing what you have. This is really useful if you have a warehouse from Mine Colonies and you hook it up to the warehouse directly. You can see like everything in that warehouse, which is really cool. I like it. So yeah, that's in there. And then there's a bunch of like adventure stuff, lots of like, oops, I had night vision on too, huh? Lots of, you know, structures we can explore, dungeons we can raid, you know, roguelike dungeons, but also additional structures, and of course villages are there. There are these like buildings from Mystical World that we can raid, and little like dungeons. I do have chocolate quests in here. I love that mod. That was like one of my favorite kind of dungeon exploring mod, and it came back to 1.12 recently, so it's still in beta or alpha or something. There's still issues, but it is good enough for me. Good enough for me to play with. It's really fun. There's a lot of like cool structures and even like sort of bosses that you can fight. So yeah, should be fun. There's lots of good loot too. But yeah, there's plenty of other stuff. This pack is actually really big in the end. I think it's like 250 mods right now, but most of it is really like it's like tiny mods, you know, that add like, you know, like, speaking of tiny mods, tiny charcoal and stuff, you know, like debug, so I can debug logs like in 1.14, and you know, atmospheric stuff. Like content wise, the biggest one really are like, I guess, something like Mine Colonies, immersive engineering, that kind of stuff. But and because of that, it actually runs really well too, which is nice. So yeah, it has a lot of mods, but it's technically not that big, if that makes any sense. Anyway, I think, you know, I'll leave it here for now. We'll go over more stuff later, like, for example, the way I have tools in here. There's no tinkers or something. I use something called Adventures Toolbox. Pretty cool. And yeah, just try out some, like, different mods I haven't, like, messed with before that I want to mess with. And yeah, hopefully set up some cool train systems, some cool colonies. Really want to do that. You know, just have a thriving village that does things for us and get resources. And yeah, Hopefully, it should be fun. Now, my plans for doing this is kind of like, it's probably going to be like a hybrid series of streaming and Let's Plays, you know. Sometimes when I feel like streaming it, I'll stream it. Sometimes when I feel like recording it, I'll record it. Of course, I'll upload the streaming VODs to YouTube as well. Sometimes I'll just play on my own and give you updates later down the road. Just whatever I feel like, you know. But yeah, I think it's ready. I'm gonna not start today because I'm super tired, but probably over the weekend or so, we'll see. I will probably get this started. And yeah, pretty excited about this. I'm really excited to like finally do stuff in here. I think it should be fun. Hopefully. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any thoughts or comments about this, let me know. Also, again, sorry about Terra Firma Craft if you're still listening, if you watched it for this. I'm sure I'll go back to Terra Firma Craft eventually, or create something similar to Terra Firma Craft, but not quite as brutal, maybe not quite as you know, in-depth, a little bit more chill, maybe. That was the original goal with this pack, but yeah. Name-wise, I'm actually still not sure. I'll probably call it Serious Engineering. I already had a pack called Serious Engineering that had a similar idea of using Rails for ore gathering. It didn't work well. The way I had it set up back then didn't work well. So there's only like 3 episodes of that on my channel. So I'll probably just hide them and then call this Serious Engineering as well. Internally, this is called Serious Survival because, like I said, it was supposed to be more like TFC. But yeah, it changed. I changed my mind quite often. But I'm really happy about this. Put a lot of work into this already. And yeah, anyway, I'm gonna stop now. Thanks a lot for watching. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.